Hi everyone, this is Henry Lee. I'm going to paint the last rose in 2012 in my backyard. As you can see here, this is my traditional subject matter near the end of the year in this season. And what inspired me the most is this cast shadow. That's what the Chinese brush painting is going after. We're not painting the cast shadow maybe, but we see it in the eye of silhouette. That's the idea of brush painting. Okay. Here we go. The material we are using is rice paper, hand-sized shrine with golden flakes. It has a more decorative feel of this holiday season. I'm using two brushes. It's called a wrist brush. Wrist brush is made of short handle with a large head, so you can load a lot, and it's easy to carry. Okay, and the color is Japanese sumi painting blocks, color blocks. Got more of these here. Some are almost dry. So I'm going to go for the flower first. So we got all the reds here. I'm going to start with yellow maybe on the heel of the brush. You always multiple load with multiple colors, multiple loads I call it. Okay, so these are pretty cool colors. So we're going to use this rouge color, but in the middle we use this carmine color. It's called plum on this palette. Don't mix too well, so the color stays kind of separate. On the tip of the brush, I load with rouge. It's a cool crimson kind. Okay. Hope my shadow is not on the way, so I have to stand a little bit far. So we go for that top flower. So I'm looking at the cast shadow. Actually, it makes my my job easier. So you can see that silhouette. But I'm also looking at the real flower. So it's something in between the cast shadow and the real one. I'm looking at the back, but it's not spawning yet. So just about. This is the most beautiful stage to paint of a rose, believe it or not. That's always a lament, celebration of life. Just before the final pruning, they'll start over again. Here we have a very tall stem. So the lower one is almost fading into. We do have a shadow there, but I'm just looking at this real flower. They're not on the same line. It should be two focal points, but you can have it either lower or higher than knife. So something here maybe will do. And we can start from the difference between the rose and the peony is the dark. Peony is in the center, but the dark of the rose is on the outside edge. And there are corners, characteristic of this rose petals. And you can add dark wet into wet or after it dries. And the sun really helps to dry it fast. I consider this a backyard plein air. I leave some pockets of unpainted paper as white. It's just same as the watercolor. You don't use white. You save it. Okay, I can save this. Maybe we can still use that for buds or something. But now I'm using a different brush, same kind of brush to do the same. I use a little bit brown and mix with opaque green and maybe some other greens on the palette. I cannot tell the name of it. Spring green or something. And you can add a little bit red. So all the color is mixed on the brush and the paper. I only have an area to mix colors. Okay, now we go for the stem. You can go slow with dry brush, that way you have more control. You can turn the brush to have some variations of color. It all comes in one stroke. I got greens, reds, and everything in between. Okay, and I see there's another stem crossing with a little young baby rose. Look at the bud. It's a triangular shape. The reds in the tender leaves there. You don't have to leave the paper, just to keep guiding and to connect all the strokes. It's pretty dry under the sun. Some dark leaves. Look at the shape, cast shadow. That's how you simplify it into solid way. Same idea when you paint bamboo. That's where the brush painting stroke are based on. There's another little young flower here. And create dense and sparse contrast, and pay attention to the shape of the voids. And don't forget to use some dark. After all, it's an ink and a watercolor. Ink is more powerful to capture the essence of the painting, just like the cast shadow. There's no color, but you can recognize the basic characteristics of the subject just by looking at the cast shadow. And when you paint in the garden, it's not a problem to group the leaves. It's all there. You can look at just those shadows. Okay? Try to combine different combine the leaves, so they're not just always showing the feather-like 5 strokes, but when you combine different groups, they form more natural shape of cluster like this. So that's about it. And I'm going to do the trunk. Dark brown, maybe a little lighter with the water. And we always try to indicate the edge of the plant. I see a lot of old trunk in this corner here, so you have to dry brush it if you could. And that's trying to create some dry brush, some cut stems. There's still tender leaves with the flower. Now we can compose freely according to what we need. Not don't just copy exactly in nature, but selectively, create the composition. So there's a tender young leaf shoot. That's nice, and maybe include that. So almost like a foliage red. So red, it's like the flower. Almost. Okay, that's the tender leaf. There's the old one falling there. And you can use leaves to correct the stem. So the stem comes first, then you keep the good ones and cover to organize it, with the leaves. So you don't have to. You can modify it or change it this way, not like people saying you cannot make any change. There are many different ways to adjust or change. Okay, so here are some cast shadow. I think we can just do as if they're cast shadows. Maybe it's like blurry shadow kind of leaves, or in the background, it's not just for atmospheric and composition. These are like cast shadow. Okay, don't forget the thorns on the trunk, on the stem. We got some pretty brownish red. Just use ink and a rouge would do normally. And just make it like kiss chocolate shape, the little tip. Little chocolates. Big ones here. And notice the rhythm, so they're not symmetrical. You have to vary the distances and like that. Okay, last we'll do the veins with the dark green or red, depends on where they are. So on those dark leaves, you can use ink directly. You don't have to do the secondary veins. Many students like to do the veins right in the middle. Actually, I do it with perspective, so you can see some could. This is really important to define the perspective. It could be foreshortened, could be you could divide one stroke into two leaves. There are all kinds of things you can do with this step. And you can do secondary ones, but when I paint outside, I try to capture the essence, forget about all the details. You don't have to do it at all if you think it's already there. This stroke, the calligraphy in the color stage may already have the sense of calligraphy, so you don't have to. So there's no veins on the cast shadow. Remember, those are cast shadows, right? But some could be still real leaves. So it's a mix of reality and illusion. That's the idea. It's a mix of reality and illusion. Okay. And you can add a little bit texture with dry brush, just to enhance the sense of old woody trunk somehow. Just a little texture. That's it. I'm going to sign it. The last rose in 2012. Sorry, 2022. Let me see, how do I think on this side, yeah, I spell it right in Chinese. It's almost the same, like 2022 last. The last rose of 2022. We already have the date, so I just signed. And I'll put a seal later. All right. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays.